You ever notice how people talk to themselves? Oh, it's fascinating. If you really listen, you'll hear it. The whispers, the muttering, the words they wouldn't dare say out loud to anyone else, but to themselves, oh, they go all in. I'm such an idiot. Why do I always mess up? I'll never get this right. Over and over like a broken record. They cut themselves down with a smile on their face like it's just normal, just how things are. People walk around thinking reality is this solid, unshakable thing, a concrete wall, unchangeable. But reality? Oh, no, it's much softer than that, more like wet clay, just waiting for a pair of hands to shape it. And the hands that do the most work, the ones inside your own head, the way you talk to yourself, that little voice narrating your every move, that's the sculptor. And most people, they don't even realize they're holding the chisel. See, they think thoughts are just thoughts, harmless, just passing little wisps of smoke floating through their mind, disappearing into nothing. But thoughts have weight. They sink, they settle, they press into the soft spots of your brain until they leave an imprint. I'm not good enough. I always mess up. I'll never be successful. Press. And then just like that, the shape of their mind has changed. They don't even have to think about it anymore. It's automatic. That's just who they are now. Not because it was true, but because they said it enough times that their brain shrugged and said, well, I guess that's reality now. The fun part? Most of these people aren't even aware of it. They think it's just the way they were born, just how life is. But no. It's training, repetition, conditioning. They talk to themselves like garbage for years and then wonder why their life smells like a dumpster fire. The truth is, the words they whisper to themselves when no one else is around, those are the spells that shape the world. And the best trick the mind ever pulled, convincing them that those spells don't matter. People wake up, roll out of bed, and start their day with insults. Look in the mirror. Oh, I look terrible. Walk into work. I hate this job, but I guess I have no choice. Mess something up. Of course I did. That's just like me. And they think all these little comments don't do anything, just words. Right? But oh, words are never just words. They're bricks. And brick by brick, they build the house you live in. Now take two people. One of them spends years telling themselves, I can't do this. I'm a failure. Nobody takes me seriously. And the other? I'm learning. I figure things out. People respect me. You think those two people live in the same world? They could stand right next to each other, same city, same streets, same opportunities, and yet their lives will look nothing alike because they built different houses, different prisons, different kingdoms. But the best part? This isn't some life sentence. The script can change anytime, just like that. And oh, that terrifies people. Because if they can change it, that means they've had the power all along. It means they can't blame the universe or their past or that one time they embarrassed themselves in high school. It means they were the ones steering the ship, even when they thought they were just passengers. And that level of power, oh, it's uncomfortable. It burns. But for the ones who can stomach it, it's the key to everything. So imagine this. Imagine if for just 3 days, Someone decided to rewrite their script, to wake up and choose their words like they mattered, to look in the mirror and say, I'm becoming something unstoppable, to walk into work and think, I am valuable here, to mess up and instead of spiraling, say, I learn fast, I adapt, I always bounce back. 3 days, that's all it takes to start cracking the walls of that old, crumbling house and laying the first brick of something new. Most people won't do it, not because they can't, but because they don't believe something that simple could make a difference. But for the ones who do, oh, they're about to find out just how soft reality really is. Let's talk about this little voice in your head. You know the one. It's the voice that tells you everything that's wrong with you, that reminds you of every failure, every mistake, every embarrassing moment. The voice that's been talking so long that you've started to think it's you. It's not. No, that little narrator, it's an impostor, a parasite. It's the voice of everyone who's ever doubted you, everyone who's ever told you that you weren't good enough. The problem is you've been giving it way too much credit. You've let it dictate your reality. And that, my friend, is where you've been getting it all wrong. You were never meant to be a prisoner of that voice, never meant to be its captive audience. But here you are, listening to it every day, nodding along like it's telling you some sort of truth. You know what it tells you? You'll never make it. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough, smart enough, capable enough. And here's the catch. You've bought into it. You've let it define your limits. The problem isn't the voice. The problem is your willingness to let it run the show. And you do it every day. You wake up and what's the first thing you hear? The second you open your eyes, that voice starts up, doesn't it? Great, another day of being stuck. Nothing's going to change. Why bother? But you know what? That's not reality. It's not even close to reality. It's just a narrative, a story someone decided to write for you. And you've been reading it ever since. You let that voice convince you that you're nothing more than a side character in your own life, stuck in a role you never even auditioned for. But here's the kicker. You didn't have to keep reading that script. You didn't have to live with that toxic little narrator rattling on in your head. You could have changed the channel, cut the feed, but you didn't. Why? Because that's what you've been taught to believe. That the voice in your head is who you are. That it holds some sort of authority over your life. But let me tell you something. If you're letting that voice make all the calls, you're living someone else's dream, not your own. And here's a fun little fact. That voice, it doesn't know a damn thing about who you really are. Imagine for a second you stopped listening, you stopped following that script. What if for just 3 days you chose to tell yourself something else, something different, something true? What if instead of hearing that voice telling you that you're not enough, you started hearing something else? What if it said, I'm getting better every day? What if it said, I can do this, I'm capable, I'm worthy of success? That voice is still there, right? But this time, it's not the one in charge. You are. And you think it wouldn't make a difference. You think, what's 3 days? What's a few positive thoughts going to change? Oh, my friend, let me tell you, it'll change everything. Because you're not just thinking those things, you're believing them. And when you start believing them, you start acting on them. When you act on them, you start getting results. When you get results, you realize just how powerful you really are. You've been sitting in the audience of your own life, watching from the sidelines, waiting for permission to take the lead. But here's the thing. The only permission you need is from yourself. For 3 days, just try it. Talk to yourself like you matter. Talk to yourself like you're the one in control. Speak to yourself like you're already who you want to be. Look in the mirror and say, I've got this. I am who I am, and that's enough. And see what happens. I promise you, the world is going to start looking a lot different. And you know what happens after that? People start noticing. They start looking at you like you've changed, like you're somehow different, like you finally figured it out. But you didn't do anything dramatic. You didn't start some grand transformation. You just decided to stop listening to the bullshit and speak to yourself like you were worth something. You decided to stop letting someone else's words define you and instead start defining yourself. Now that's power, real power, the kind that comes from the inside, not the outside, the kind that no one can take away from you because you've given it to yourself. And once you realize that, once you understand that the only opinion that matters is the one you have about yourself, well, my friend, the world doesn't stand a chance against you. Let's talk about something we all love to pretend doesn't exist. Confidence. Ah, confidence. It's that shiny little thing we all want, right? We see someone with it and we think, I wish I had that. I wish I could be like them. But here's the thing. Most people don't understand what confidence really is. They think it's this magical thing that some people just have, like it's some sort of gift from the gods or a DNA trait you're born with. But oh no, that's the biggest trick of all, because here's the reality. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you create. It's something you train. You've been fed this idea, this lovely little lie, that confidence is this natural, unshakable trait. You know, the kind that you either have or you don't. You think of people like the so-called leaders in your life, the ones who stand tall, speak up, take charge, and you think, that's them. That's just who they are. I'll never be like that. You believe it's some unreachable peak, and you're down here in the valley, hoping someone will throw you a rope. But the truth is those people didn't start off like that. They weren't born walking into rooms like they owned them. They didn't come out of the womb giving orders. They got there by training, by repetition, by being willing to step up, fail, and try again. Confidence isn't something that's just magically bestowed on a lucky few. Oh no, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, you've got to work it, stretch it, build it up over time. It starts small. Maybe it's just speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's walking into a room full of strangers and saying, "Hi, I'm so-and-so." It might feel awkward at first, like you're holding up a giant neon sign that says, "Look at me, I'm trying." But that's okay. That's part of the process. You're building. You're training, and every time you do it, the muscle gets stronger, your confidence grows. It's not magic, it's effort. But here's where it gets interesting. You know that little voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not good enough? The one that reminds you of every awkward moment in your life? Yeah, that voice. It's the biggest barrier you'll ever face on your way to building real confidence. Because while you're trying to build yourself up, that voice is trying to tear you down. It says things like, "Who do you think you are? You're not like them. You'll never be good enough." But guess what? That voice isn't the truth. It's just noise. And here's the secret, it's not even real. It's the result of everything you've ever told yourself and everything others have told you, just floating around in your head like a pile of discarded thoughts. But here's the thing, you can control that. You can choose what gets to stick and what gets to fall away. You're the one holding the brush. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's easy for you to say. I've been like this for years. How can I change overnight? Well, you're right. It doesn't happen overnight. But what if it could start with something simple? What if instead of listening to that voice that tells you all the reasons you're not enough, you started replacing it with something new, something positive, something real? For just 3 days, speak to yourself like you matter. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But you'd be amazed how many people can't do it. They can compliment everyone around them, but can't say one kind thing about themselves. But for 3 days, try it. Look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough. Say it with conviction. Say it like you believe it. Look at yourself like you're a force to be reckoned with, not a punchline waiting to happen. It's going to feel awkward, like trying to ride a bike without training wheels for the first time. But you know what? You'll survive it. And you'll get stronger with every word. And here's the best part. That voice in your head, it doesn't get to decide who you are. Not anymore. It might throw a tantrum, throw all kinds of nonsense your way, but you've got the power to shut it up. And when you do, that's when real change starts happening. That's when you start seeing things differently. You start walking into rooms with your head held high, not because you've suddenly become the most confident person in the room, but because you've decided you're worthy of being there. You stop apologizing for your existence, and instead you start demanding your space. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the green light. Because the truth is, confidence is a decision. It's a choice. And if you're willing to make it, if you're willing to talk to yourself like you matter, like you're enough, then the world has no choice. Oh, you've been told a lie, haven't you? That life is some kind of straight path, like a nice little road with clear signs pointing the way, with the smooth, easy destination just waiting for you at the end. And oh, how naive you were to buy into it. Life, my friend, isn't some sweet, predictable highway. It's more like a maze. Dark, twisted, filled with dead ends, traps, and the occasional psychotic clown who might just mess with your head. But here's the thing, you're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're not supposed to be perfect. If you were, it would be boring. Life's about the mess. Life's about the chaos. And for those of us who actually live it, the chaos is the only thing that makes it real. Now I can hear you already. Oh, but that's scary. I don't want the chaos. I don't want the mess. I want stability. I want comfort. Oh, sweet little lamb, you can stay in your bubble of delusion if you want. You can keep pretending like life is supposed to be this nice little packaged deal, all neat and tidy. But the truth is, that's just the fantasy. The real deal is gritty. It's uncomfortable. And it's unpredictable. And that's the beauty of it. That's where the magic happens. You want to know why the people you envy, the ones who seem to have it all together, seem so untouchable? Because they've learned to embrace the chaos. They've learned to dance with the madness. See, we all want to control things. We all want to have the perfect job, the perfect relationships, the perfect life. And we spend so much time trying to control it, trying to fit everything into this neat little box, that we forget something important. You can't control everything. You can't even control most things. Life will throw curveballs at you. It'll knock you down just when you think you've got your feet under you. You can plan, you can work hard, but no matter how much you try, life's going to laugh in your face and show you that you're not the one in charge. So what do? Cry about it? Throw your hands up in defeat? No, my friend, you learn to let go. You learn to loosen your grip on things. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. And that's where the freedom comes from. When you stop pretending you can control everything, you free yourself from the shackles of disappointment. You stop holding on so tight to that perfect little vision of how things should be. And when you do that, well, then you start to actually live. It's not easy, I won't lie. It's hard to accept that we don't have the answers. It's hard to admit that life doesn't owe us anything, that the universe isn't handing us a map to our perfect existence. But there's power in that. There's freedom in realizing you're not the one making the rules. The world will do what it does. People will act how they act. And most of the time, things won't go your way. But you can choose how to react. You can choose to laugh at the mess, to enjoy the chaos, to find the beauty in the disaster. And here's something else they won't tell you. Chaos isn't the enemy. Oh no. Chaos is your ally. It's where you grow. It's where you evolve. The world isn't waiting for you to be perfect, to be successful. The world is waiting for you to embrace the mess, because that's where you find who you really are. That's when you discover your true strength, your true resilience. The only people who've truly learned to master life are the ones who've accepted that life will never be mastered. You can't control the storm, but you can dance in the rain. So here's the truth that most won't dare tell you. Stop trying to fit everything into your tiny little idea of how life should be. Stop trying to control what's uncontrollable. Embrace the unpredictability, the imperfections, the mess, because in that mess, you'll find the real you. And once you do that, once you learn to thrive in chaos, the world becomes your playground. You'll never look at life the same way again. The chaos is not your enemy, it's your teacher. And if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to let it shape you, it will make you unstoppable. You'll see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, every setback as a chance to learn, and every failure as a step toward success. The only thing that stands between you and your power is your need for control. Let go of that, and suddenly the world doesn't seem so scary anymore, does it? It's just a big, beautiful mess, and it's yours for the taking. Power. It's the thing everyone wants, right? We're all scrambling for it, fighting for it, wishing for it. Everyone's got their eyes on the prize, thinking that if they just get a little bit of control, a little bit of influence, then life will finally make sense. But here's the dirty little secret they won't tell you. Power isn't about what you have. It's not about the position you're in, the money you make, or the title on your business card. Nay. Real power, true power, is in knowing what you want and knowing what you're willing to do to get it. It's about owning yourself in a world that's trying to break you down, tell you who you should be and who you can't be. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be and realizing that, no matter what anyone else says, the only person who gets to decide your worth is you. See, most people think they need to bend to the system. They think they need to play nice, follow the rules, stay in their lane, be good little boys and girls, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be rewarded with a little bit of power. But guess what? That's just an illusion, a trap, a little game they want you to play. Why? Because the system doesn't want you to realize that power isn't something they give out. Power is something you take. They want you to think you need their permission, their approval to do anything. They want you to believe that if you follow their rules, you'll get to live a good life. But here's the kicker. They're not playing by the same rules they're telling you to follow. They've got their own game going, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll stop playing their game and start playing your own. But how do you do that? How do you break free from this mess? It starts with one simple thing: choosing yourself. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? Everyone around you, every voice in your ear, every flashing light telling you what's right, is all trying to make you believe that you're not enough, that you need something more. You need more money, more followers, more validation, more. But here's the truth you won't hear anywhere else. You're enough. You've got what it takes right here, right now. The only thing you need to realize is that you're in control. No one else gets to decide what happens to you. Not your boss, not your friends. Now let's talk about what real power looks like. It's not about yelling the loudest or getting the biggest paycheck. It's not about wearing a suit or holding a fancy title. Nah, that's all just superficial nonsense. Real power is the quiet, unshakable confidence that you can't be moved. It's the ability to walk into any room, no matter who's in it, and not give a damn about what they think of you. Real power is not caring if someone tries to tear you down or tell you that you're too much or not enough. It's knowing that no one's opinion matters except your own. But here's the real kicker. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to be powerful. You can't wear a mask and hope people believe it. Real power comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and not apologizing for any of it. It comes from taking ownership of your life, your decisions, your mistakes. No more blaming others, no more pointing fingers. It's about taking the reins and saying, I am in control. So many people are out here trying to get validation from others. They want someone to tell them they're doing a good job, that they're on the right track. But you don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need anyone else to tell you you're worthy. You're worthy because you decide you are. And when you make that decision, the world has no choice but to follow. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying life's gonna be easy. If you're waiting for an easy ride, you've come to the wrong place. Life will test you, break you, and try to make you feel like you're not good enough. It will push you, pull you, drag you through the dirt and the mud, and it'll tell you you're not strong enough to stand up again. But here's the thing, when you stop looking for permission, when you stop caring about the rules, when you stop caring about what anyone else thinks, that's when you tap into true power. You'll see challenges as opportunities. You'll see setbacks as setups for comebacks. And you'll start to realize that nothing and no one can stop you from getting what you want. It all comes down to this. Stop waiting for the world to hand you power. It's not going to happen. The only way you're ever going to get it is by taking it, by deciding every single day that you are worthy of that power, that you are worthy of the success, the freedom, the life you dream of. No one else can give you that. No one else can take it away. Only you. Only when you decide that it's yours and you take it. And when you do, you'll see that the world doesn't stand a chance against you. You'll see that no matter what happens, you've got everything you need to win.